Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Chair Marson,
Here.
Commissioner Livermore,
Here.
Commissioner Levinson, Commissioner Toby, Commissioner Hartley,
Here.
Councilmember Harrington.
Here.
Okay, let's start by approving the minutes of our last meeting. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 7th meeting.
I'll second it.
Chair Marson,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartley.
Yes.
Okay, thanks very much. All right, today we had two items on our agenda, and as I mentioned before, not on the record, the petitioner for 57 Depew Street, Mr. Rauchi, asked to be put over until the September meeting, which will be September 7th. Yes,
While we're at it, I will not be here September 7th.
you will not be here September 7th. Well, let's get our other members here. Okay, September 7th. Okay, so we have today a request for water service for the Stewart's Shops on Route 7 and 205. We have some drawings here. We're going to look at those in a minute. We've received your request, and I hate staples because then I don't have stuff right in front of me, so there we go. Just some preliminary statements. First of all, the City of Oneonta has conservation pricing, so the more you use, the more you pay by volume. That's just informational for you. It doesn't impact the decision we might make on the project, just so that as you're calculating, you may want to get in touch with the finance office and find out what your likely annual water charge should be. Secondly, we do have a main outside of the, right along Route 7, and I think that's the area that you're planning to tap into. So I guess we should look at plans so that these board members can be up on them. If you would mind bringing them over here, we'll gather around. We can all gather around right over here.
Their most recent one, Mark.
Oh, you've got the most recent ones? Okay, off you go.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
This is what was sent to me.
Where would you like?
Right on that desk where it says Dana Levinson. And feel free to come on. You can come around on this side too. So we don't really care about the building. Okay.
So this is our proposed utility plan. Currently, like she mentioned, the main is running along Route 7. This is Route 7?
Yes,
This is Route
right.
7, and this is Route 205. We're proposing to tap the main here, in the front of the building to our utility room. The question is, this is the town,
Yes, it's all in the town.
and the main belongs to the city?
Yes.
The city is over here?
No,
No.
this is all town.
Okay, so it's all town.
That's all the town. This is,
But
This
it's
is-
your water main.
right.
Okay.
Across from this is,
Rapidos.
Maravinos
Okay.
over here. Down here is the state police.
Yeah.
There's right. Okay, so,
And then that's for us, and then also the project proposes a loop as an extension of the water main. These are all Stewart people here?
No.
I don't know what the
no,
Stewart's-
no. They're about to talk to you about the loop, I think. So jump in about what we're doing.
So I'm Mike O'Reilly, this is Ben Gunther is HED, yeah, correct, the developer slash property owner. So part of the agreement with Stewart's with Ben is that basically we're going to develop this site for future build out. And that includes the roadway that you see, obviously water and sewer. Currently, the only one going on the site is Stewart's.
Okay, so you're talking about a site, so it's not just Stewart's.
Correct.
Right, it's here and here, I
So
think.
eventually, you're gonna tap water for other.
Correct.
Right, so let's talk about what you're talking about with the 8-inch. Let's just talk about that for
So
a
the
minute.
main currently in the roadway up here is 8-inch. So in order to allow us the most opportunity in the future, what we did is just extend it to that 8-inch. We did not reduce it, we kept the sizing the same through the whole site.
I might add, this road here is being built to town specs too. This road is up to.
Ultimately, the town is going to take over the
So that is still future, or is it
So
happening?
part of this work is, correct, yep.
That
Like
road
the
is going
signal.
in at the same time that this is going in.
Okay, so the construction has already begun on this, and, the proposal is to run a main into this site.
Correct.
Okay,
So it will create a loop.
Correct.
Is this the loop we're talking about?
well,
Yes.
it's the loop.
Okay.
The,
Is this the site, or is there more?
there's
This
more.
This is a site here, this site here, site there.
Scott, do you have a fold?
Okay,
Okay,
and this-
I actually made a small one.
Maybe you do? That's great.
That's okay, I don't need to see.
I brought a small
Yeah,
one.
no problem.
Yeah.
And so this main is gonna service all of these?
Correct.
It doesn't show
Oh,
the
this
development.
doesn't- people-
It doesn't show the, our development, but it shows these numbers.
Right.
I've got
So
a drawing
there's
of my
this,
set that shows the proposed
This
zone
is
where
locations.
they are right now.
right,
This is what's right here.
there's possible here, because they, are you gonna own this property?
Yes.
Okay, and then there's something over here, there's something here, and there's something here.
So it's 1, 2, 3,
4,
and this could be several, but right now I have an NDA with the hotel style.
So as far as the city is concerned, you are basically want to tap the city's water.
Correct.
right, they'd be in the town sewer district,
Okay.
but
But
there-
the town has nothing to do with that,
Yeah,
because we just have an agreement with the city, is that correct?
the town has the sewer district, the town is going to get the tax revenues from this, they'll get the sewer rents from this.
And the city would get the water.
We would keep
some
Purchase
water
water,
is
whatever the
ours.
rate is. Right.
Right, water is ours. So, we have had a few meetings internally, not these two board members, but I have in preparation for this meeting. There are a couple of things that are of concern to us. Number one, this is a wetland area, and it wasn't identified on seeker. We weren't notified of seeker. We're an interested party, and the town should have let us know. I think
See, we
Stewart's
hadn't
is seeker.
identified any wetlands on site.
I
was
have a
very
mapping-
surprised.
I have
I
a
know, you
mapping.
showed me the map, and I'm,
It's on the DC
Yeah.
website.
This one?
Do you have a copy of the seeker, Marge, when we did it with the
Yes,
town?
yeah,
It's interesting, why didn't the town say, because we did it with the town.
right.
They were
I
the
really, I don't know.
lead agency
Again,
on it.
they didn't tell us anything about it. We should have been, the town planning board was lead agency. We were not notified at all. We don't have a huge concern about that, but it should have been identified on.
So we can, do you want us to provide you those documents, or did the town?
No,
provide
the town,
it?
well, no,
They did-
Stewart's gave
Stewart
us this.
They did get it to you.
They gave us seeker, but it didn't have this. We also are about $80,000 in the hole for the town in water rents. And we've been trying to get the town to create a water district in the west end so that we can collect against it, otherwise we can't. There is things that changed, as I was telling Mr. Kitchener, we, in the 30s, anybody who had a water district, not a water district, anybody who had a water system was given permission by the health department to go a mile outside their municipal bounds. And we did, to the town of Oneonta. As the years have gone by, especially since the 90s, the health department doesn't let us shut water off for non-payment any longer. And so we have no way of collecting. We can't lien against the property because it's not in our municipality. The comptroller also doesn't let us do anything in terms of collecting in the town. So we have been working for the past 2 years with the town to create a water district, and we think that has to happen first. The attorneys are ready, the town just needs to approve it. So that's one, let me get I will hand out, we've been working on a little response so that you guys would have it in writing. I have it. So here you go.
So basically, we said you want to use my project as leverage to
Uh,
get the water.
Well, we haven't approved a project in the town since the Plains of Parish Homestead, which is a water district. And so, yes, that's one of the possibilities. We're kind of in a forked stick in that we couldn't collect against you.
Well, you already collect against me. I own the Safe Light building, I own the Sugar's Bar.
Yeah, right, yeah, I know, and I appreciate that, but not everybody does.
But I also own Five Star Sugar, I pay my water bill there. So if the guy beside me stops paying his water bill, am I gonna shut mine off?
Yeah, I know, that's.
I don't see where this is associated with.
I understand how you don't feel that way, but $80,000 is significant for our water system.
I'm sure it is.
Um,
I have more
Number
invested
two,
in this.
we need the town to redo the environmental quality review. The other thing about this is that Stewart's is coming, but it's kind of segmentation. So we need a little bit more, if we're going to approve this, we need a little bit more detail as to what you think. Obviously, you have some plans for the project that you kind of know who's going to go in there. We need a better idea of what.
I have NDAs with them, I can't, but I have
Right,
a sit-down
but you can-
restaurant.
You
Sit down
can just
restaurant.
provide us with some numbers. As it
You have the
stands,
numbers, right? The
Stewart's
water
alone
numbers.
has proposed 12 gallons a minute.
That's,
Well, 12 gallons a minute is 6 million gallons a year. That's a lot for us. That's a lot of water. And your other Stewart's on River Street only uses 300,000 gallons. So we think you may have to rethink that. And maybe make a different proposal to us as to what you actually might be using, because 300,000.
well, I mean, that's the typical usage in our newer, larger stores.
Oh, and this is larger than
They generate
okay,
more business.
because the footprint looked the same.
No, it's a larger store, it generates more
Okay,
foot
so,
traffic.
so make sure you check with the finance office to find out what your annual charge would be.
How many gallons?
He said
12
12 gallons a minute. I mean, that's a lot. How much do you don't use anything like that at five-star Sewer.
No, you are.
I mean, that's the peak, that's not at all
Okay.
times through the day.
Okay,
Do you have examples from other stores that you can use
Yeah, we
as?
can-
yeah, we just need a better idea, because that seems like a
idea
whole
where this
lot of
water's
water.
going? Is it toilets or car washes?
Our biggest water usage is our dip well, the reservoir for washing the ice cream scoops. It has to run constantly. We throttle it back to a quarter gallon a minute, but that's as low as we can go on it, and it's required by the Department of Ags and Markets.
That's not only 24 hours.
So that,
No, we're open on the average,
so that's multi-gallons,
16
that's part of the 12 gallons.
that's included in that number, yeah. So, I mean, that 12 gallons is the peak, you know.
Well,
We can look for an average or a peak.
I'm
average
would be better for
I'm just a guy that has a house down here, and I don't know much about, I mean, 12 gallons a minute is a hell of a lot of water.
Right, and we do have some users who use 12 gallons a minute,
Does anybody know?
but that's a lot of water.
What would you use 12 gallons?
No, that has to run
Our
well
big places,
over.
we've got a lot of big places.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we have conservation pricing is to capture our demand from the big users. That's the whole point of the
Which
of the
makes
thing.
sense,
The little users don't pay, I mean, your Stewart's that's on River Street pays $2,000 a year for water. I don't know how much you pay, probably 1,000
4 or 5 star.
for 5-star.
I think my water bill's like 2,500, 3,000.
Yeah, so it's probably about the same as the Stewart's, but like SUNY pays $1 million. And that's why we created that system of conservation pricing, because it captures the need for the demand from the people who actually have the demand. And we would just as soon not charge that against your business and the hotel unless we have, I mean, we want that to
Right.
be taken into consideration, and you should know that.
Also, in that 12 would be any irrigation.
Yeah, but I don't know that that's your paving.
There's a lot of green space around the edges.
Well, on the rest of the project, is there greens?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of vegetated areas.
Oh, well, that's good, I guess. Oh, right here, probably.
All this out here would be
your stormwater basin there?
Well, I mean, we would probably have them along the backside of the curb.
Yeah, yeah,
and
Oh, yeah, sure.
However far they spray.
Yeah, right.
What is your concern that these people are gonna be demanding too much water, or we don't have?
Well, no,
enough?
we just have to know,
Okay.
because that's one of the requirements in the code, is that we take that into consideration when we do approvals.
The city has an agreement with the town for so much usage, so we just gotta make sure that they're within that usage.
Right. Okay,
So what's to keep him from just overestimating, so that he never runs short of water?
There are standards that he's gotta follow, you know?
Yeah, and we just need we need I mean, 6 million gallons is probably really outside of the usage, and that may be peak, but you've got some businesses already that are this size, that are using water.
I would think you want a number that is like, how much water do you guys actually use a day? Not a peak number, because,
Well, because that's provision, but as you know, Oneonta has very variable population. You know, our city itself has about 10,000 residents, but with the two colleges who are not here all the time.
The universal
have
water
another 15,000.
goes to zero in the summertime,
Or
because nobody
10,000.
takes that shower.
And now we have, baseball camps and things like that, so, okay, so we also have,
baseball teams, the baseball, you supply with baseball?
no, just in terms of
Oh, you
using
mean like
water.
Well, yeah, people renting and things like
I mean,
that.
it used to be that, as you know, City of Oneonta had no usage of anything in the summer. And then, whew, we went crazy once
Right.
September hit, or once August hit. We want you to know that the water service has to be single. So your water service has to be uniquely single from any other usage.
Oh, yeah, what, this is.
But yeah, no, it shows that, but because we see all of this, that's more for you. Because we have to be able to bill against a property owner, not unless you wanna create your own district and have a master meter, which you probably don't because of
Well,
conservation
no,
pricing.
no, I don't. Well, the other thing is too, is because some of these are up in the air, if they're gonna be a ground lease, probably gonna be a sale.
Exactly, so, but these are just things that you need to know that are part of City of Oneonta. We may want to covenant with you to use energy efficient toilets and shower heads and things when you get to that, just because of water usage, you know.
Well,
I guess,
I mean, they're paying the bill, I would think.
whatever, yeah, well, of course you want that.
I mean, we're
but-
still gonna have code requirements, right? We're gonna have to hit minimum
Right, but
efficiency
you see,
on
once we give you approval for water, your code requirements are with the
the town.
town.
No, I certainly
So
understand.
we have certain needs and they have other ones. So we wanna make sure you know that upfront, so that there isn't some like, oh gosh, these are cheaper, and so we put those in. I mean, you're the developer, but your individual customers need to know these things ahead of time. You
So
know,
I think,
people
just
who-
so we're clear, what Ben's intentions are is to subdivide or sell the property in portions. So they're going to be, right, they're more or less selling, so they're gonna have their own tap application, tap
Okay.
this main. So
All
right
right, so
now,
this-
we're just putting in a main extension, we don't have any taps. Only Stewart's have a tap,
And we're doing the loop because
because the town wanted it, the city wanted it, correct?
Okay, all right.
So we don't have any taps at this
Did we
current
want a loop there?
Nobody talked to us about a loop.
That's what the town told us.
Okay.
Okay, but that's what
Well,
we
that's
have as a
what
loop.
discussed.
Are you Chris?
Yes, I'm Chris.
I'm Mike,
Yeah.
nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet
So,
you.
yeah, so it's one continuous loop, because we kinda knew that's what you were gonna want.
The only thing we knew was that this project was happening. I have a monthly meeting with the supervisor and the superintendent. We knew this was happening. We didn't see drawings until you sent me the first drawing,
Okay,
so that's the first I've seen it.
okay. Yeah, cause that's more or less what we have. I mean, we've provided hydrants per required by the fire, obviously. So there's
Right.
hydrant here, and this is one big loop. We valved it off so it could be isolated.
There's an existing hydrant there.
Correct, yep, we've extended up to there with another valve.
Okay,
So,
Let me ask another question.
Go ahead.
You're the.
I'm the public works director.
he's public works director.
I'm Greg.
Since I know nothing about this, obviously, it sounds like there must be standards, because we're gonna provide the water, but this town will then
to be as upfront with you guys as possible. We're being just as upfront with the town. So, just so you know.
Chris, when there's a break in the water line, do you guys fix it in
Yes.
town?
Yes, that's
That's
us.
a problem.
Yep.
So this.
Yeah, 'cause see, I can
Not
look at
all
your
of it.
comment, we did this with plastic, and you're saying you guys are used to ductile iron.
Well,
Okay,
'cause
hold
we
on.
don't-
Ductile iron or C900, but we don't have a way to fix HDPE, so,
Yeah.
Okay.
that is an issue for us.
Right, that's it, you know, we don't have it anywhere
And
else.
Scott, I think, I can talk to Jim, I think we bid it as C900.
C900 is fine. That,
I think that's what
we're
it is.
doing that now on
Yeah,
River.
that's
I
fine.
can verify that.
Okay, that's great.
This
Um,
sounds like a carryover, which is, this agreement that was from the 1930s, that the city would provide water outside of the city. But it's really, it doesn't, legally, it doesn't make sense. You,
Right.
what
that's your
really
point.
legally should be happening is you people would supply water from the city, and the town would control everything else, but that apparently can't happen.
Well,
No,
it
we would
can
be
happen, we
purchasing
just
water.
need to be able to, we can't collect against customers in the
Right, because you
town.
can't shut off right now. And I can appreciate, and I'll help you whatever way I can.
That will be really great, because according to both the town's attorney and the city's attorney, they're ready to go with the water district, which takes 30 days to publish. And so we should be able to move ahead with this, we just, I don't know, I mean, the town, I don't know.
I just don't wanna get in a prisoner exchange program.
No, I know, and we don't really want you to, I mean, we do have these concerns, we have concerns about capacity. We have concerns about materials, we have concerns about owning something that we did not put in,
Well, yeah.
right? So we do have some concerns, and it'll be a future negotiation, I think, that we may want a city inspector there.
Mhm.
We may
Right, I
want
see
somebody
that
from
here.
the city water department there to make sure things are done the right way. I mean, just as it would be in the town if you were extending and then they were going to adopt it. I mean, that's sort of what's happening here,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, Jim's more or less going to accept that when we're done.
Yeah, right.
But to be fair,
but-
he was in all the meetings and told us what he wanted, so I totally understand your position.
Yeah, you don't even know what hydrants I want, or
Yeah.
valves, or
Right.
anything. Yeah.
You know, like,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
that's,
And
I thought
there
we
is a
were
reference
shit.
here to wastewater, and that's not our thing. We do want you to know that generally in New York State, as you already know, you're gonna need a grease trap. That's what we require if there's something in the city of Oneonta. I don't know if the town requires it, but they usually do, so I didn't take that out.
No, well, I mean, these plans have already been approved by the town. We've already received approvals.
I know, and the problem is that we didn't know about it, and we have these other, I mean, we're really worried about how we're going to manage, also because this main is sort of a main to nowhere until you sell the lots.
Right.
Once we approve the mains, we've basically approved your projects, right?
I can definitely understand your position. But
So,
I didn't know it earlier. You know,
and that's
I don't think
okay.
any of us knew.
No, that's right, and this is why we're all meeting together, this is why you're all here, we're really glad to see you all,
Yeah.
so that we can extend our concerns, and also so you can light a fire under the town.
Yeah.
Because this should be able to happen fast, and once that happens, we're happy, we're very happy.
Okay.
So, that's our concerns. I think I've covered everything. We will need, as-bills of your, all your ties and valves and things. We're gonna need that just to keep on hand,
Okay.
because it's our water system, and we are very careful with our, with our mapping and things. I think that's covered everything. Pressure testing, disinfectant, we want you to do a hydrant test, but of course, we'll need that, if you're gonna extend with more hydrants, we'll need one for every one of those, so. Anything else, Chris?
Just initially, we'll want a hydrant test on the hydrant that's out front here.
The one that's already there?
Yeah.
There's an existing one, so what you do is
Yeah.
just call up my office, speak with Mary Ann, and schedule a hydrant test, and do the test, and show us what the results are of the test.
We should be able to do that.
Yeah, we
Anything
can do
that
that.
are very available.
What is
Schedule
that, pressure test
tomorrow.
they do?
There's a device they put on it, they run the water. Chris? Last name is YACOBUCCI. You call my office, you're gonna speak, Public Works Director. Call my office, you're gonna speak with Mary Ann, and she'll get you set up for a hydrant test. Either you guys can do it, there's a fee for us to do it, we can do it for you. She'll be able to schedule that for you. We'd rather go off actual numbers than hypotheticals.
Yeah, so you can let Chris know those things. Our plan for today, with the approval of all three members, we're a quorum, so nobody can vote no, and if we're gonna do something, we gotta agree on it. We have two other members, but they're not here today, so, is to table until next month. And then hopefully we'll have some movement on the things that we need, and then we can possibly go ahead. We don't want to hold up your project if it's not necessary, but we are holding up your project. We need the town to redo their secret, just resubmit their secret to DEC and us. We need them to,
You're on all this now.
we need a little bit of information from you, Ben,
Yep.
about possible future usage if we're gonna approve the main, because they can hook up without the main.
Large. And maybe Chris, so on our set, and I can provide these to Chris, and go through them with him, so what we did, and I didn't bring the drawing with me, we have an architectural plan that Ben uses for selling the property.
Yes, right.
So what we've done is assigned a number to each building,
Yep,
and I've given you what we think a projected flow would be, based on what that building is.
Those are average flows?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I just use DEC values, so like,
oh, these are DEC values,
yeah, so what I'm thinking, and I didn't bring a plan with me, of course,
No,
but
okay.
Ben's thinking that maybe this will be an office building and I applied a flow number to that. Maybe this could be a Dunkin' Donuts and I've applied a flow to that. Maybe this could be a restaurant and I've given you a flow. So we know what all these values potentially could be.
Okay, all right, well, that's good, then we probably don't need that, but,
That's assuming you don't put in another high flow storage tank.
Yeah, that's right, that's the question, we just don't know. But as we move forward, obviously they're gonna have to come in front of you guys
Yeah.
and say we wanna
Right,
tap
yeah,
this main.
and then we would make sure, you know.
Yeah, we're just trying to
Yeah.
extend the main that's there, understanding that all of these boxes are gonna have to be checked multiple times in the
but in
future.
a way, that segments the project, and we don't want to make assumptions about our ability to provide water, especially, climate change, whatever. Right now, we're great. We are not, our reservoir is full, this summer has been raining every day.
I was a half inch from last
But
year.
3 years,
Last year.
we had
Half
almost
inch from
had
reaching
a water
order to
emergency.
conserve water.
And so we
A half inch
really
from that?
need to be
A half inch
sure.
away.
We
And we
just
got a
need
ton
to
of
be
rain.
sure, again, because our infrastructure is built for a certain number of gallons a day. And we need to make sure, in fact, the code says we can't approve anything if the city of Oneonta customers are not covered. And that
But
includes the.
as he points out, we approved one project, and if the next one doesn't work, they don't.
Well, that's
they don't get
absolutely
the
true,
water.
right, that's absolutely true, but we don't wanna put you in that situation without some we need to let you know that. I mean, we're constrained by the code just up to that point, so that's why these are good, we can look at those numbers if that's, the hotel,
So this
That's
potentially could be a hotel, and this would come off your existing main.
right.
It would not pull off the
Oh, no,
main.
okay, all right, so
But-
that,
Again, you're still
But
going
we're
to
still
make sure your
covered,
main
right,
can support that.
Yes.
right.
Yep.
And it wouldn't hurt you to call or stop in to the finance office and get some numbers for water charges, because because of conservation pricing, you probably need to let your your customers know, your potential buyers
You should
know
just ask for the fee
what it's
schedule.
likely to be.
She'll be able to give you
Because
the
it
fee
is
schedule.
kind of unique, most have flat rate and we don't, not since the 70s. So, that's just,
Yeah.
again, good to know.
And make sure she
you
uses
can,
the
and we're
town
very
fee
open,
schedule.
we can tell you exactly how much it's gonna cost based on the numbers that you have, so, we don't want any surprises. So I will make a motion that we table this for 1 month.
A second.
A second?
With the conditions listed?
Yes.
On our handout, there was a list of things that you wanted.
Yeah, well,
I think
Oh,
they
you know what?
provided a copy of that.
that's a good idea. Thank you, Charles. I make a motion that we transmit this draft, we make it official and transmit it to both the common council, the town board, and all of these guys in an official capacity.
You have an existing motion and second on the floor. Do you want to amend your motion, or do you want to vote on that?
We're
one?
amending the.
Amend the
sec-
original?
Right, the
Okay.
seconder asked amended, and I'm in approval of that. I think that's a good point. We could have done that in the second motion, but anyway. So, motion to table and transmit the, concerns and recommendations to interested parties ASAP.
That's, so you have them in writing, they don't have to.
Yeah, it's best, we can have as many meetings as you want, but we want to tell you exactly what our.
Do you want the request for the hydrant testing, the refiling of the seeker, and the future development plans, generally speaking, to be in the motion as well? Okay. You want further discussion, or are you ready? Chair Mertzig,
Yes.
Commissioner Livermore,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartley.
Yes.
Thanks for coming in. We're sorry to delay you, but it's nice to be getting some specificity in what we need. And again, anything you can do to get the town going, it should, they're ready. They have all their, they're ready.
Chris,
Because,
can we get a meeting with you? with
Sure.
Ben, and just go through those water
Yeah.
stuff?
That's not a problem.
We can just, because I think a lot of the questions are probably there, I just need to just go through with you to make sure. it's-
Probably a good idea.
here's the mapping that we did. This is from DC's mapping thing.
Yep.
The one that's in the seeker document is,
Different.
well, yes, it's possible.
It was a secret, it was not like 5 years ago, is that why they were doing that?
Whatever one we got.
They
in
really
letter.
want to make it.
2021. Scott Constantine.
Here it is. This is seeker. We got it from you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's right there. Oh, it's on these pages. Now you can have it.
That's what secret was.
It's signed.
We
It's
found these
signed.
guys.
We did 2 stores in Fountain last year.
Maybe it's just a version of media, yeah. Yeah, 'cause I did the secret, and it wasn't 2021, it was like.
This is a negative declaration was made by the board May 1st, 2023.
It's on it, yes, the map.
Maybe they did it, because we may have had, we did secret a couple times, I know that. Because we started this in like 15, 16,
Oh, it just says
and
May.
before they would let us continue, we went through a seeker. Then we did the stormwater, and then we did another seeker.
Just make sure the town
We'll get it to
includes
you.
us,
Yeah, yeah.
because that
All right,
was,
okay.
that was kind of,
So I think we have,
yes. I think so too, but not everybody, one of the things we're criticized about in the city of Oneonta is that we do things in too complicated a manner, but sometimes you have to.
Well, we